folks, we're joined with another All Truck Challenge competitor here. We have Tyler Buckingham on the line. Tyler, how the hell are you?
Doing good, man. How are you guys?
Doing wonderful. Tyler, I am excited to talk to you today because we are literally one day away from the challenge as of recording this. Are you pumped?
I'm pumped. I'm ecstatic.
I know this is one of those competitions that I feel like it sneaks up on you. It's just that time of year where like all of the end of summer stuff is wrapping up. I'm starting to get ready for Thanksgiving and Halloween and fall stuff. And then all of a sudden, right in the middle of all of it, there's All Truck Challenge, King of the Streets going on.
Oh, and you know, if I don't know if every diesel person is a procrastinator, but I mean, I think we weed eated around this truck like until a week ago, even though we've had 12 months.
I love that. It's so common that if you're going to a competition, you save the work. It's not that you're putting it off. You're saving the work because it's so much fun. You just want to do it all together at one time.
Well, that's right. Yeah, you want to, if you got, 200 hours to do something, you really want to stuff that in 200 hours before the event.
Give me a rundown, Tyler. What truck are you bringing to the show?
Oh, I got a 99 Dodge 2500 extended cab short bed. It'll be the only one that has a fiberglass step side on it. It is a factory engine. It has 300 and some change on it. VP 44 powered. I think I'm the only guy there with that. Twin turbos, 63 S475, pretty standard stuff. Head studs. We actually dropped the head studs in last event, so it had a stock head gasket even still.
Oh my God.
Still last year. The only good parts I think we got are we have an M&J tool fab trans. We should, we actually hurt that last year. We don't know how. That was our downfall last year. Our downfall last year was actually we were still putting the truck back together. It was getting painted as we were doing the day before at the event we had. But we made it to the street drive, the dyno event, and the dirt drags. Obviously, the street drive is my most fun because we actually just turned the radio on and jammed around for 100 miles, and it was pretty neat to see what that took out. Like you just be driving down the road, following whoever's in front of you, and next thing you know, there's a cloud of white smoke. You can't even see where you're at, and you just get to pick, rock, paper, scissors, who's out. And I know you guys talked to Josh McCormick there, and I actually ran into him to push him out of a town. He was like spraying people with their like purses and bags, carrying their shopping goods through a town with like diesel fuel. And I knew he didn't want to give up, but I was like, dude, I think it's it, man. I don't want to see you catch on fire. I only have 2 fire extinguishers with me. And because I think he kind of agreed. I mean, it leaked so much fuel that I couldn't even hardly push him in 2-wheel drive because I was slipping on his diesel fuel up this hill.
Oh my God.
So I just hit him. I said, you got a resitch in, dude. Are you cool with that? And he's like, yeah. I just pushed him. But we enjoyed that. I mean, we got back to almost like, I think a mile from the gate, and Travis Stebbins' fuel line blew up. And we just seen him going like 65, a big cloud of smoke from under his truck, and then he just floored it. He went, I mean, I don't even want to say how fast he was probably going, but he was trying to roll back to the event, and he made it like 300 yards from the gate.
Oh no.
And then that was it. Yeah. The truck ran out of fuel actually because it was just pumping it out.
Oh, it was just pouring it down.
Yeah, it was fun. So, and then we did the dyno. We made like 1040, I think, last year on spray. That was pretty good for a VP truck. We were happy with it. We ended up finding a 6-inch long gasket that was blown out. We were only actually making like 32 pounds of boost. So we're going to try for a little bigger number this year. Maybe keep the trans in the truck through the dirt drags. That was what got us last year. But it actually welded direct. So when you started the truck, it drove. It didn't matter if you were in park, neutral, reverse. We don't like to give up, and we were in the middle of the dirt drag, so we pull started the truck. It's an auto, and it actually was capable of being pull started. So we pull started it and got it to run, and I couldn't control it. I couldn't stop it. I couldn't do nothing. So
Oh my
that got us
God.
out last year. But we're looking for a better, much better event this year. It's going to be great.
Okay, well let's talk about that a little bit. What is your background in? What portion of this competition are you think you're going to be the strongest with?
I'm actually probably the most. I'm not the most. I don't want to use the word most. I'm very seasoned. I own a diesel shop. I've lived this stuff from 15, 14 years old. I had a pulling tractor when I was 13. I actually had to have my neighbor sign up for me to say I was 18 until I was 18 to pull. I built a pretty good 2.6 truck back in like 09, 10 area. That was fun when it was fun. We did a lot of truck pulling. Got into some VP 44 stuff back then, and we were drag racing them. They're very consistent. Liked the platform. It was easy, cheap, throw it together. I mean, this truck that I'm using today or tomorrow is a $1,500 truck we pulled out of the woods in Salt Lake City, Utah. And it's got the stock Dana 70, stock Dana 60 front. There's just not a lot to it, and I don't know what's going to happen, but it's been reliable for us. It's a good truck.
How long have you
we're
had
going to
it?
be underpowered by far, but we're actually in ATC and in dyno camp. The dyno camp kind of gave us a leg up because it keeps the common rails at bay, maybe to give us a little bit of a laid up or a chance. Let's use that.
A chance. I like that.
Yeah,
How long have you had this truck?
I've had this truck for actually 2 months before the event last year.
Oh my
So
God.
it was sitting in my weeds, and we had nothing. And Sarah, I actually have signed up for this event like 3 years in a row.
Okay.
I think the first 2 years I just came up with nothing to take. I couldn't make a decision. We just have, as a diesel performance shop, we had 1,500 horsepower worth of parts for any model of vehicle sitting on the shelf. So it was kind of like, what do you want to do? Do you want to use a Power Stroke? Do you want to use a Cummins? I'm not a huge Duramax fan. There are too many bolts, way too many bolts. And I give it props to the guys that use Duramax. But the Cummins platform, I actually have a, extended rod 6.7 deck plate motor that I could use in a third gen. I just felt like people maybe wanted to see more than third gen. So we decided to go this route and keep it simple and just have a good time.
I love that. 1040, even 1040 with spray on a VP pump is wildly impressive.
It's really good. Monster Mike gives me a lot of tools to use. I'm good. I'm pretty close with the guy. I know he's kind of a ghost in the world, but he's been good to me. We have a new injector this year that we're trying. I'm kind of nervous about it. It's a lot of fuel than BPs are used to. So we'll see how that stacks up. I actually kept my old injectors just to maybe keep us for an insurance.
Okay. I like that idea. Especially whenever you're trying new parts and you're trying them for the first time at the show, there is always that little bit of like, well, what if, right? Like, what if I had to swap back, or what if these don't work? What am I going to do? And being a VP, stuff's cheap, but it's hard to find some days.
It is. And that's why we have 2 pumps sitting here. We actually have a spare transmission this year just in case, which we should not need it. We actually last year I test drove the truck. It went from 190 horsepower stock truck to 1040 in, I would say, like 36 hours. And the first time I never even drove the truck on the road when I got it. I just grabbed it, said, screw it, let's go. And the test drive was to the gates of Dragway 42 for the event.
Oh my God.
So we had no idea what we were going to get ourselves into. This year I have a little bit of time in the seat, just around. So now I actually know the trans might actually hold up for us this year, and a little more insurance this time.
What's your strategy on the dyno?
Honestly, VPs, it's going to be easy. They make a lot of power down low. I'm limited to like 3,400 RPM, so it's not going to make nothing up there. So I'm going to lug it to death. Try to put a nice load on it. and then spray the balls off of it. I don't need the nitrous for anything but the dyno. I'm just going to try to get that number as high as I can. But I brought the tools that I brought. I'm excited for the extra fuel for the dyno. I think even if we run the injectors that we have on the shelf for everything else, I will definitely go to these injectors for the dyno event. Just to try to maybe put some of that nitrous at bay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just super pumped about this event. It's 11 miles from my shop that we work on. I might be the closest competitor. And I always signed up for it when she started it because I just was hoping that it would stay here.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. We don't have to drive 14 hours to go to it. Shide and all that. We've always went and competed in that. I'm bringing a 3.0 truck to Cache Days with her. I'm bringing a work stock truck with us. I have a possible, if the head gasket shows up tonight, hot farm tractor that we're bringing for Cache Days. We're doing everything we can do in the event. I think we're bringing 6 trucks.
Oh my God. It's a whole camp.
Oh yeah, we have a camp. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we're just super pumped. We want to participate as hard as we can, and just keep this thing going. Because as you know, everything is, just falling apart as it goes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's tough to keep these sustainable where you have new entries and old entries still wanting to be there and still wanting to compete. And I think one of the things that's really promising about this event is that it's not exclusively 2,000 horsepower to win it, right?
Yeah. No.
The barrier to entry is not quite as high as some of the other national levels of competition.
Absolutely. I get that a lot. Like, why compete? Why compete in something that you're already, the gun's against you. And I said, like, just going through the street drive was enough to show that can take people out. Something as simple as that. A hiccup on the dyno can put 3 or 4 guys that are on the leaderboard down. You slip up in the dirt drags. Truck pulling, I think, is kind of the chain to the ground. That's going to bring out the people that are going to show their true colors. But the rest of that stuff's kind of a question mark. I mean, you start adding nitrous and you start adding different things and trying to get that big number. And I mean, you can put somebody with 900 horse right to the top.
Yeah.
I think my biggest fear was always Brian's gas trucks.
Sure.
They aren't going to break. I mean, I'm not going to say they're not going to break, but his 2019 or 20 that he brought last year, that thing was stock.
Yeah.
Or pretty close to it. And I was like, shit, he's going to at least do all the events.
That's it, right? Is who can be consistent.
Consistency. I mean, you can do well in one and just fail on the rest, and you won't do very good.
Right. And, I think about this industry 10 years ago, and building a purpose-built truck was pretty much your only option. Really, the big goal back then was, 1,000 horsepower on the street truck. Oh, that's crazy. You'll never need it. Oh, that's crazy. You can't do it. It's too smoky. It's too laggy. Now that's like just a common drop in the bucket. Like I feel like everybody and their brother has 1,000 horsepower street truck, but being able to go there and dirt drag, sled pull, dyno, and then drive it on the street, that just, you can see people's brains breaking as they think about that.
Yeah, we actually, filled blocks and, these 2,000 horsepower trucks that's a filled block world. Like you don't play in that world unless you had filled blocks and deck plates and things that you couldn't drive the truck more than 30, a minute and 30 seconds and I actually have a filled block that I was going to put in my truck for this event and run gigantic radiator sized oil coolers and see if we could run it 100 miles without overheating the oil. And just to try it. I mean, it was like one of those things like that would be neat to see. I don't think it would work, but we were going to run oil through the actual engine oil through the head coolant ports and literally have a oil cooled, no coolant filled block engine. And that, I don't know, just to try it.
Right. And then I assume you get down to one of those and you're like, man, this is a really big gamble to see if it might work.
Yeah, it's kind of a fun gamble. I'm the gambler. I guess maybe that's what it is. Because I wouldn't even try it. I would go straight to King of Streets and I would go, Sarah, we're gonna give this a go. We've never done it, and because I just think that's part of the deal. Like, it's cool. If I'm the first one to find out, it'd be really cool to be a spectator that gets to find out that way too.
Yeah.
This guy literally has no idea what he's doing.
Hey man, no one man is an island. We know that whenever it comes down to competitions like this, there's other people that are in your crew. Who would you like to give a shout out to?
My employees, for sure. Taylor, Logan, them guys have put in the time with me. Maybe they get paid to do it too, which that might be part of it, but no, they do. Everybody puts in the time. One of my best friends, Brent Webster, he, without him, I think any competition, I don't know where he comes from, but he'll just show up, and he put my head gasket on for me the other day. Just everybody in my club. It's been good. My wife, I don't know how I married the right one for sure, because she puts up with shit that I don't think on another foot I would either, but she's great, and I mean, it's going to be a good time. We're going to go out and we're going to root for everyone. We're going to have a good time.
That's awesome, man. I'm so excited to see you guys out there. I want to wish you the best of luck. Is there any piece of advice you'd like to give to somebody who is thinking about maybe doing this next year?
Do it. I've told everybody that. If you have any questions, I think that's the biggest problem with these events is you think you can't. You might have a truck that you bought and it's pretty mild or whatever. You drive it to work. Bring it. I mean, I always say the person that gets last place is still thousandfold over the guy that's sitting in the stands with a truck that he could have entered. You can't compete if you don't just do it. And there's no embarrassment in it. I mean, come out, do it. If you make 600 horse, sweet. You were there, you entered, you participated, and it made a show. So I always said that with truck pulling, why don't you just throw a hitch in your truck and pull? Well, I'm not a pulling truck. Well, I drug this out of the junkyard 3 days ago, and it wasn't a pulling truck either, but here we are.
That's right. Anything's a pulling truck if you pull with it.
That's exactly right. And I think these guys need to, they have these beautiful trucks that are built up pretty heavy, and I just think they're too nervous to be embarrassed. I think they're too nervous to be embarrassed, and they don't want to do it.
That's right.
I think they should.
Tyler's calling you scared. Are you scared?
Yeah, that's what
you
I always say.
with the nice truck.
I think anybody needs to get a little bit of riled up. Like if I have to bet on it, that's what I think. Cash days is great. I think that's awesome. Spend a bunch of money for a chance to win a bunch of money. It's like that's how it should be. I think every truck pull should be cash days, and that's like ATC too. I mean, put your money up, put your truck up. I know that everybody at the bar talks about their truck, so let's see it.
I love that. That's so much fun. Tyler, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate you carving out some time for our listeners.
Hey, I appreciate you guys calling and doing this. It's great.
Absolutely. Listeners, if you didn't know, you really should know. All Truck Challenge is going on this weekend. The dates are October 17th plus, 15th plus. We'll get the dates in here accurately after this. Thank you so much for listening. This has been Paul Wilson with Diesel Performance Podcast.
It was pretty neat to see what that took out. You just be driving down the road, following whoever's in front of you, and next thing you know, there's a cloud of white smoke. You can't even see where you're at, and you just get to pick, rock, paper, scissors, who's out.